Have you ever felt your world shatter in an instant? That crushing feeling when someone you trusted the most, someone you thought would never hurt you, suddenly becomes the center of a storm that leaves you broken and helpless? That's exactly what happened in the life of Yandy Smith. She stepped into the spotlight, heart heavy, eyes filled with unshed tears, to reveal a secret so shocking, so gut-wrenching, that it could change everything you thought you knew about Mendeecees and Tamar Braxton. The whispers behind closed doors, the betrayal that no one saw coming, the heartbreak buried beneath a carefully curated public smile, it's all unraveling now, piece by painful piece. Imagine standing on the edge, watching trust crumble, dreams shatter, and your heart split in two, while the world watches and judges. That's the reality Yandy faced, and now she's finally speaking out, her voice trembling, emotions raw, truth burning hotter than ever. The revelation is heartbreaking. It's scandalous. It's personal. And it's about to shake the reality TV world to its very core. Brace yourselves, because once this story unfolds, nothing will ever be the same. It all began in silence, the kind of silence that screams louder than words ever could. Yandy Smith, a woman known for her strength, her poise, and her unwavering presence in the reality TV world, suddenly found herself drowning in a storm she never saw coming. Behind the smiles, the cameras, the seemingly perfect life, there was heartbreak, raw, unfiltered, and suffocating. For years, she had trusted people she called friends, people she thought would stand by her through every high and low. But life has a cruel way of revealing the truth in the darkest moments. And this time, the revelation was personal, devastating, and impossibly public. Imagine sitting alone in your room, the weight of the world pressing down on your chest, as you realize that the people you held closest, the ones you believed would never betray you, were hiding secrets so cruel, so unimaginable, that your entire reality begins to crumble. Yandy had spent countless nights reflecting, questioning herself, and trying to piece together the fragments of a life suddenly torn apart. She remembered the laughter, the camaraderie, the promises whispered in confidence, and then the betrayal. The sting of it was sharper than she ever could have imagined. How could someone so close, someone she trusted implicitly, allow deceit and heartbreak to creep into her life like a shadow in the night? And then there was Mendeecees, a man who had once shared dreams and plans, hopes and future visions. The kind of bond that seemed unbreakable, yet beneath the surface, cracks were forming, small at first, almost imperceptible, until one day they widened into chasms too vast to ignore. Yandy's heart ached as she recalled moments where she had sensed something was off, moments dismissed by hope and trust. Hope has a way of blinding you, making you see only what you want to see, and ignore the warning signs that scream for attention. But the story didn't stop there. Tamar Braxton, another name that carries its own weight, its own history, its own storm of emotion and drama, suddenly became part of this tangled web. The revelation Yandy shared wasn't just about one betrayal, it was a cascade of heartbreak, a ripple effect that reached further than anyone could imagine. Every secret uncovered, every hidden truth revealed, felt like another blow to the chest. And the world watched. Reality TV, gossip columns, social media, everyone was waiting for the next twist, the next tear, the next heartbreak. Yandy's voice trembled as she spoke. Every word was a fragment of pain, every pause a testament to how much this had hurt her. She spoke of nights spent crying alone, of conversations with herself, of trying to make sense of a betrayal so deep it threatened to drown her in despair. Her strength, so visible on screen, masked the turmoil within. But in this moment, in her revelation, the mask fell away. What remained was raw, human, and painfully real. There's a special kind of sadness that comes from watching someone you admire, someone you respect, confront the unimaginable. It's the sadness of knowing that life isn't always fair, that trust can be shattered in a second, that love and loyalty can be tainted by secrets and deception. Yandy's story is that sadness made real, a story that makes you want to reach out, to hold on, to somehow make the pain stop, even though you know you can't. As the details emerged, the heartbreak became almost too much to bear. There were moments of confusion, of anger, of disbelief. How could Mendeecees and Tamar be involved in something so deeply personal, so shockingly cruel? The kind of revelation that changes relationships, friendships, and alliances forever. And Yandy, standing in the middle of it all, had no choice but to confront the truth, even when it threatened to destroy her from the inside out. The emotional toll was immense. Every confession, every hidden truth brought tears. Her world, once familiar and safe, had been shaken to its very foundation. Friends whispered behind closed doors, social media exploded with speculation, and fans held their breath, waiting for her next word. The reality of betrayal, of heartbreak, of secrets exposed, is a weight that no one should carry alone, yet Yandy did, and she carried it with a courage that left everyone in awe. And just when you think the storm might settle, there's another wave. Another revelation. Another piece of the puzzle that cuts deeper than the last. That's the cruel beauty of gossip, drama, and reality TV. It doesn't just entertain, it exposes, it wounds, it challenges every sense of trust and loyalty we hold dear. And Yandy's story? It's not just a story. It's a raw, unfiltered journey through pain, trust, betrayal, and the kind of heartbreak that makes you question everything you thought you knew about the people around you. For those watching, it's impossible not to feel every tear, every pang of sorrow, every moment of emotional agony she endured. Her pain becomes ours. Her heartbreak becomes ours. And as the story unfolds, you can't help but wonder, how much more can one person endure before the weight of betrayal crushes them completely? As Yandy's revelation spread, the world began to grasp the true weight of what she was carrying. Every word she shared was like a knife twisting slowly in the heart of reality TV drama, cutting deeper than anyone could have imagined. Behind the glamorous lights, the cameras, and the social media smiles, there was pain, real, unbearable, and suffocating. She spoke of the nights when the silence was deafening, when the walls of her home seemed to close in around her, and all she could do was replay memories of trust and love now tainted by betrayal. Each recollection was sharper than the last, whispered conversations, moments of intimacy, promises broken without warning. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was a disillusionment so profound that it left her questioning every choice, every relationship, every truth she had ever believed in. Mendeecees, once a figure of stability in her world, became a source of pain. The bond they had shared, the understanding they had built, all seemed to crumble beneath the weight of secrets and lies. Yandy's heartbreak was palpable, every gesture, every pause, every tear a testament to the depth of her despair. And yet, she faced it all, publicly, with a courage that was as raw as it was inspiring. Watching her speak, fans could feel her vulnerability, could feel the emotional wounds that had been inflicted not by strangers, but by those she had trusted most. And then came Tamar Braxton, a name that carries its own storm of history, heartbreak, and controversy. Her involvement in the revelation was like a thunderclap in an already stormy sky. Tamar's presence complicated everything, blurred lines, and intensified the emotional turmoil. What Yandy revealed wasn't just scandalous, it was deeply personal. It was the kind of truth that shakes the foundations of relationships, trust, and loyalty, leaving nothing untouched. The emotional roller coaster of Yandy's story didn't stop there. She revealed moments of confusion and self-doubt, times when she questioned her own judgment, her own worth. How could someone she admired, someone she believed in, participate in something that caused such profound pain? How could the world she thought she understood twist into a nightmare so cruel and unexpected? These were questions she wrestled with, alone, in moments that were invisible to the outside world, moments that were intensely human and heartbreakingly relatable. As fans and viewers absorbed each detail, the magnitude of the revelation became clear. It wasn't just a scandal. It wasn't just gossip. It was a raw, unfiltered exposure of human emotions, betrayal, heartbreak, vulnerability, that left everyone who heard it trembling. Social media erupted. Comments poured in. The whispers behind closed doors turned into public speculation. And through it all, Yandy remained steadfast, her voice a mixture of pain and determination, a beacon of authenticity in a world obsessed with facades. One of the most gut-wrenching aspects of this revelation was the emotional manipulation Yandy endured. People close to her, people she had confided in, had spun stories, concealed truths, and let lies fester in silence. The weight of carrying these secrets, of knowing what was true and watching the world speculate without understanding the full story, was crushing. Every day was a battle between maintaining composure and letting the floodgates of emotion finally open. Yet, even in the midst of despair, Yandy showed resilience. She faced the world's judgment, the cameras, and the relentless social media scrutiny with a strength born from pain. But make no mistake, the cost was immense. Her tears were real, her heartbreak undeniable, and every revelation peeled back another layer of a deeply human struggle that left her raw and exposed. This wasn't scripted drama, this was life, unfolding in its most intense and tragic form. What made the situation even more heart-wrenching was the ambiguity of truth. As Yandy revealed secrets, questions arose: who was truly at fault? Who had orchestrated the pain, and who had simply been caught in its path? The blurred lines between loyalty and betrayal, love and deception, left viewers suspended in suspense, emotionally entwined with Yandy's anguish. Every moment of clarity she offered was met with another layer of confusion, another shock that made hearts ache and eyes water. And in this tangled web of emotion, the human element shone through. Yandy's vulnerability was a mirror to anyone who has ever been betrayed, anyone who has ever loved and lost, anyone who has ever felt the sharp sting of heartbreak that comes from people we never thought could hurt us. Watching her story unfold wasn't just entertainment, it was a shared experience of sorrow, empathy, and raw emotional intensity. Her pain was contagious. Her heartbreak became the heartbeat of the viewers. And as the revelations stacked up, each more shocking than the last, the emotional intensity reached a fever pitch. Fans weren't just watching a scandal, they were witnessing a woman confronting life's harshest truths, enduring heartbreak with courage, and daring to speak the unspeakable. In this part of the story, we are reminded of the fragility of trust, the weight of betrayal, and the human capacity for both pain and resilience. Yandy's journey is one of heartbreak so intense it makes us shiver, of emotional revelations so raw they leave us gasping, and of courage so profound it inspires even as it devastates. And as the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the heartbreak is far from over, and the next wave of revelations promises to be even more shattering. The truth, as Yandy revealed, was far more devastating than anyone could have imagined. It wasn't just a story of betrayal or heartbreak, it was a story that pierced through the very soul of trust. Each revelation felt like a fresh wound, a tear that refused to heal, a heartbreak laid upon heartbreak. Pensive face. The more she spoke, the heavier the room became, as if the very air mourned with her. Every detail she shared about Mendeecees and Tamar Braxton was like stepping into a house of mirrors, reflecting the pain, confusion, and shattered illusions of the past. Memories once sweet, moments once cherished, now felt poisoned by deceit. Yandy's words carried the weight of unspoken fears, of nights spent crying alone, of wondering how someone could betray her so completely. There were revelations about trust broken in ways that no one expected. Promises made in good faith, conversations that were meant to be sacred, and bonds that were thought unbreakable, all had been compromised. She described the feeling of discovering hidden truths in private messages, subtle manipulations, and moments that revealed intentions nobody could have foreseen. The heartbreak wasn't just emotional, it was intimate, invasive, and suffocating. Yandy's voice trembled as she recalled seeing signs she had once ignored, trusting the wrong people because her heart chose to believe in loyalty and love. And that trust had been weaponized against her. Tamar's involvement added layers of complexity, publicly admired, yet privately entangled in decisions that left Yandy reeling. The juxtaposition of admiration and betrayal created an emotional whirlwind, one that left her, and now the audience, struggling to breathe under the weight of the drama. Every revelation brought tears, not just for Yandy, but for everyone watching. The heartbreak was universal. It wasn't merely gossip, it was an emotional reckoning. Fans felt as if they were standing beside her in those lonely nights, feeling the sting of betrayal, the emptiness of broken promises, the soul-crushing reality that life sometimes turns on you in ways you never imagined. The shock didn't stop there. A leaked video, whispered rumors, and hidden conversations surfaced, each one a bombshell, each one deepening the wound. Social media lit up with speculation, and yet nothing could compare to the raw, human pain she conveyed. Yandy's eyes, red from crying, revealed the story behind the headlines. A woman navigating a labyrinth of lies, betrayal, and heartbreak, desperately seeking the truth and struggling to keep herself intact amidst the chaos. And then came the moment that broke hearts worldwide. Yandy revealed the personal toll this scandal had taken: health impacted, friendships shattered, trust forever altered. Nights of insomnia, the gnawing pain in her chest, the constant replaying of conversations in her mind, trying to reconcile what she thought she knew with the shocking reality. The vulnerability was unbearable, yet she shared it with the world, exposing herself fully to those who might judge, but also inspiring those who understand the pain of betrayal. What made this story so emotionally devastating was the human element. This wasn't just celebrities in conflict. This was a woman's life, disrupted, broken, and revealed in its rawest form. The grief was tangible. The tears felt real. And the heartbreak was contagious. Every word she spoke, every pause, every trembling breath conveyed the depth of her suffering. The audience wasn't just watching drama, they were witnessing heartbreak, feeling it, living it alongside her. Yandy also spoke of the aftermath, the isolation, the whispered judgments, and the cruel curiosity of the public eye. The world saw scandal, she lived pain. Each accusation, each revelation, left scars that couldn't be hidden behind camera angles or social media posts. The intensity of her emotional journey, the betrayal, the confusion, the anguish, was a story that resonated because it was undeniably human. And yet, even in the darkest moments, there was a flicker of resilience. Despite the heartbreak, the tears, and the relentless scrutiny, Yandy continued to face the world. She spoke her truth, no matter how painful, no matter how personal. In her sorrow, she found strength. In her vulnerability, she found courage. And in telling her story, she gave voice to countless others who had suffered in silence, who had experienced the sting of betrayal, the collapse of trust, and the unbearable weight of heartbreak. By the end of this part of the revelation, viewers were left trembling, hearts heavy, emotions raw. The intensity of sadness, the emotional drama, and the viral shock value were palpable. Yandy's story wasn't just a scandal, it was a journey into the very heart of human emotion, grief, heartbreak, betrayal, and the fragile beauty of resilience. Every viewer who watched felt the heartbreak in their own chest. Every pause, every tear, every trembling word echoed in the hearts of fans and strangers alike. And as the story continued to unfold, one question lingered in the air. How does one rebuild when the people they trusted most have left them shattered, exposed, and heartbroken? The emotional intensity was overwhelming. The drama was viral level, shocking, and completely gut-wrenching. And the story was far from over. And now, after everything Yandy has revealed, after every tear, every heartbreak, every shocking truth that has come to light, we turn to you, the viewers. This isn't just her story, it's a story that touches all of us. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the raw emotions, they make you pause, they make you question the people you trust, and they make your heart ache in ways words can barely describe. What do you think is really going on behind the scenes? Was Yandy betrayed by those she trusted most? Or is there more to the story, hidden layers we haven't yet uncovered? Could Mendeecees and Tamar have been caught in a storm they didn't foresee? Or is there manipulation at play that has left Yandy shattered? Your voice matters. This is the part where the conversation begins. Comment below with your thoughts, your theories, and your reactions. Let us know how this revelation made you feel. Did it break your heart like it did hers? And don't stop there. Share this video with friends who live for reality TV drama, who crave the untold stories, who can feel every emotional punch just like we did watching Yandy's journey unfold. Hit the like button if you felt the heartbreak, if you were shocked, if this revelation left you speechless. Finally, subscribe and turn on notifications, because the story isn't over. The twists, the betrayals, and the heartbreak are still coming. You won't want to miss a single moment of what happens next in this explosive saga. Your comments, your shares, and your engagement aren't just numbers, they are part of the story, part of the conversation, part of the heartbreak and the healing. So, speak up. Let the world hear your voice. And remember, sometimes reality is more shocking than fiction, and Yandy's story proves it.